Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get back to Vietnam Dong and see what's going on, shall we? The last we heard, they were trying to recoup from a strong dollar. They have been selling, unfortunately, their reserve currencies to try to hold on to the current exchange rate. Remember, every time the United States hikes their interest rates, it affects currencies all around the world, making the US dollar stronger while making theirs weaker. Let's see what Vietnam has done since then, shall we? Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey, catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. All right, here we go. The US dollar reaches new peak. Foreign investors withdraw capital from the stock market. That's because if you're invested in Vietnam's stock market, every time the dollar gets stronger, it affects your stocks over there in Vietnam. So the stock market September 11th through the 16th was shaken with a selling trend in a majority of the business fields, especially real estate. So the Vietnam index dropped 30 points before slightly recovering at the end of the week at 1,227. Even so, 30 points, it doesn't sound like a lot to us because ours is much higher. But when you're only dealing with 1,000 and something points in your index, yeah, 30 points is a lot. A strong correction was the major trend of the stock market last week, especially when investors' decisions were affected by information about the continued dollar price escalation. The trend could be seen in foreign investors' strong net sales, which were the major influence on the stock market. Obviously, investors had paid special attention to the Dong dollar exchange rate. The pressure has increased in recent weeks, and foreign investors' net sales have calmed the market's excitement. The net sales of foreign investors last week reached 2.147 trillion Vietnam Dong. At the Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange, the investment portfolio's restructuring of the three largest ETFs also occurred on the browse. You can see right here, it says analysts point out that the cash flows from foreign investors has been in accordance with the exchange rate performance. Foreign investors have shifted to net sales since April, the time when the exchange rate began escalating. If you scroll down just a little bit, it says investors are told to remain calm. Though the exchange rate performance has had a significant impact on foreign cash flow to the stock market, most experts believe that the fluctuations are not too worrying. Here's the thing, if this continues to go lower and lower, this is definitely the time you want to jump into the Vietnam Stock Exchange, because eventually it has no choice but to go up. We know the dollar is going to crash. It's just a matter of time. The latest official Dong dollar exchange rate announced by the State Bank of Vietnam was that you would get 24,036 Vietnam Dong per dollar. And the people investing in the Iraqi dinar are complaining about getting 1,310 dinars for every dollar. Can you imagine getting 24,036? Yikes. By the way, this is a historical peak for the Vietnam Dong. Commercial banks quote dollar prices between 24,000 and 24,440 per dollar. Since June, the exchange rate is no longer worrying, as the exchange rate fluctuated mostly because of the big interest rate gap. When the U.S. no longer tightens its monetary policy, Vietnam will have ample room for its monetary policy. Yeah, you want to catch that on the upswing, and that's coming up here pretty soon. SSI research pointed out that the exchange rate performance recently was heavily influenced by seasonal factors and divergent monetary policies by the major central banks in the world, creating great pressure on the exchange rate in the third quarter. The good news is that the SBV's position now is different from the same period last year thanks to increased foreign exchange reserves in the first 6 months, plentiful supplies of foreign currencies from FDI disbursements, and trade surplus. So Vietnam is at least hanging tight and doing pretty good, but they're poised to increase in value big time. Here we go. Look at this. Vietnam to ask cross-border platforms to set up office in country. I love how they try to make this sound like they never could do business cross-border before. I understand there was a slight delay to it, but not so much that it was that big of a deal. Now all of a sudden everything is about jumping on that platform, getting those CBDC. It'll make things quicker. No, it's BS. That's the government really intrusive on your privacy. Requiring cross-border platforms to set up an office in Vietnam will create fairness in management, protect users, and assure tax obligations. Their offices will also be able to work with state management agencies to handle violations. So Vietnam is pushing to have an office for cross-border payments established over there in Vietnam. Now, this is something you don't want to see. Transfer in Vietnam Dong 10 million may require biometric authentication. We're talking about 10 million. That's not that big of a deal for us. You can see right here. It is expected that biometric authentication, such as fingerprint, iris, facial recognition, will be mandatory for money transfers exceeding the minimum level, possibly starting at 10 million Vietnam Dong, so $410.93 USD. This is ridiculous. This is what they're really cracking down on. Any transfers for around $410, you got to use a thumbprint, eye scan, facial recognition just to transfer the money. This is so invasive, it's not even funny. I like how they say they're doing this to protect your bank account. I think our bank accounts are doing just fine without you being intrusive on our privacy. According to the deputy head of the State Bank of Vietnam Payment Department, at a September 19 seminar on protecting bank accounts from increasing online fraud risk, in the near future, the SBV will amend Decision 630 to allow credit institutions to implement biometric authentications for transactions surpassing credit limits. Man, this is your money that you're putting in their bank. Sooner or later, some bank's going to come along and say, you know what? You don't need none of that crap. You want to write a check? Write a check. You want to use an ATM card? Use an ATM card. There is no, you have to fill out paperwork for maximums or minimums or anything like that, man. And they're going to get all the business. People don't want the government all up in their business. Currently, 90% of online transfer transactions are below $10 million. The figure could serve as a basis for reference to set the minimum transfer amongst requiring biometric authentication, ensuring a balance between customer experience and fraud prevention. Yeah, I just don't think it's necessary to have to go through such extremes to protect 10 million Vietnam Dong. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. Do we need to start going to biometrics? And how long until it reaches here? And if they're doing that 10 million Vietnam Dong, don't be surprised if they say any transfers $300 or more, you got to come in and do a scan or fingerprint or something like that just to identify. Don't be surprised at all. Let me know what you guys think. I look forward to your comments. That's it for now. I'm out.